The assumptions part has always been really interesting to me, because it kind of makes, obviously energy modeling is backed up by science. There's like this
Yeah.
sort of element
There's
of
like
science.
scientists.
There's like scientists, and there's
Yeah.
like, equations and stuff in the background of a lot of
Right.
these energy modelers. But you use the word assumptions,
Right.
which kind of to me starts to talk, gets into the sort of the art of energy modeling. Like the engineer and the team needs to make certain assumptions about how this building is going to perform and
Right.
and what's going to go into it.
Yeah.
And so it creates kind of a gray area. So can you maybe explain some of that process?
Yeah.
Like you kind of, you're using experience, you're bringing experience to bear on like what assumptions to make. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the single biggest variable, in a building is always people, right? So even if, designing a mechanical system, like you could design the best system in the world, but if people come into the building and operate it in a way that it wasn't intended to operate, if they're cranking down the air conditioning or turning the heat way up, it's not going to be energy efficient.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think nailing down occupancy schedules and how do people move through the building and having those conversations, and a lot of times maybe the end user doesn't even know how they're going to use the building, right? So
Yeah.
that's another element. But so I think I like that you use the word art, the art of energy modeling, because there is, I mean, an art to it too. And a lot of things that we do as engineers kind of come down to, there's that gray area where you have to rely on your experience and kind of feel it out more than like just the hard numbers of things. Like water heater sizing is another example of, right, the art of engineering. But yeah, I think there's standards out there and guides on, what typical, occupancy schedules are, even, how often are the elevators operated in an office building and things like that I think presenting that information and using it as a talking point has been really effective too in the past. Cause I think people say, if you just go to somebody and say, well, how are you going to use this building, or what hours are you going to be in here? It's not usually something that people can always answer sometimes, but sometimes not. But if you present information, then people have a chance to react to it.